We're going to be learning about how the feeder root system of a fruit tree, there's two phases of growth, a spring feeder root flush and a fall feeder root flush. They have different purposes, and there's ways that we work with that. When those feeder roots are growing, that means the plant's investing its carbon energy below. That means mycorrhizal fungi are also reaching out further. And there's a point where those feeder root systems kind of fall back into the plant, and the fungi themselves also kind of draw back. So we're going to learn how the timing of that ties to things like cover cropping in a dwarf tree orchard. But whenever the fungi withdraw, they leave behind a protein substance called glomalin. And glomalin is how carbon gets into the soil. Glomalin is used by mycorrhizal fungi to bind together sand particles and clay particles and silt particles and loam to form what are called soil aggregates. This is the goal of good farming. This is tilth. This is what every organic farmer wants to see happen after years of taking care of the soil properly. Mycorrhizal fungi are the initiators, the ones who provide the glue to hold soil aggregates together. Soil aggregates are where organic matter in the form of humus is stored for a long, long time, simply by means of the fact that other microbes can't necessarily get into the depths of that soil aggregate, and so that carbon stays locked away yet again. But the point here is mycorrhizal fungi have a key role in what's going on there. So in terms of how we go about bringing this into our orchard, into our berry patch, into our gardens, we have to understand just a little bit about how fungi maintain themselves, how they carry forward into the future, into the next growing season. One, the fact that fungal hyphae, mycelium, constantly expand, fuse together. Well, that's going to bring more plants into the web as it gets bigger and bigger. That's the growing season portion. Another is the fact that in the roots of plants, spores are placed, and there are hyphae which will continue the next growing season. So that becomes important for anyone thinking about starting to get a soil ecosystem to be more fungi in terms of cover crops. That becomes important in your garden, where you might have had the habit of totally pulling up the peas or the beans, whereas if you cut them off and leave the root fragments behind, you're leaving some of the mycelial connection that grew this past summer. And that's going to be important for next spring when we resume growing as plants. Finally, there's the fact that they're fungi. The ectomycorrhizae have the mushrooms where the spores come off of. Endomycorrhizae are invisible, and they create spores throughout the soil. And there are ways to gather those spores. You can make inoculant products. You can do this at home by understanding that certain plants are really conducive to growing mycorrhizae, many different species. But it ends up that we have an opportunity as orchardists to make sure we start the fruit tree off with this connection. So a mycorrhizal inoculant product, a good quality product, is going to contain 7, 9, 12 species of endomycorrhizae. It might include a few ectomycorrhizae. I'll explain why that's a good thing. There are different formulations. The type I like to use when I'm planting a bare root fruit tree, just because I can see it, is the root gel that Bioorganics puts together. There are also powdered formulations. There are liquid formulations. And let's just picture that fruit tree for a minute, that feeder root system. Not feeder root, that root system. It comes out of a nursery that may or may not be, quote, organic. That, in turn, came from a rootstock nursery, and I don't know of any organic rootstock nurseries. Most of the rootstocks come from farms in the Pacific Northwest. The soils are fumigated, so they can put in a new crop every few years, constantly growing fruit roots. It means that those root systems come barren. They don't have the mycorrhizal connection. And again, a nursery might have introduced it, but often not. If you're getting a potted tree and it's from a landscape center or even one of the giant box stores? Probably not. No one's really thinking about this. But here you have this ability to like get it off to a good start for all these reasons that we've been talking about. So you want to take advantage of that. So again, I dip a bare root system in the gel. I can see the gel. Now, there might be someone in the room right now thinking, damn it, I planted my fruit trees last year. I have to dig them up and dip them in this gel stuff. And then I can begin this mycorrhizal connection. No, you can use those powders. Another thing you can do is you can go to the edge of a healthy forest ecosystem, a place where raspberries are growing, blackberries are growing, goldenrod. Maybe there's a fruit tree, maybe there's some maples, maybe there's some soft hardwoods like popple and alder, maybe there's clover. That diversity represents a diversity of fungi in the soil. And just like if you make sourdough bread, you save a little bit of the dough for the next batch, that little bit of inoculum might be a quart of soil to your one fruit tree. You take off the more organic duff matter on the surface of the soil, you gather soil from the roots of that ecosystem, you scrape aside the duff matter around your young fruit tree, and you put that inoculum there, it's going to affiliate with the roots and form exactly what your goal is. So it's kind of a question of scale, what you get into in that respect.